Okay, hey guys, here we go. Um, so first to start off with, I did not know Charmaine was going to be going live. I know I didn't even look. I came home, I face planted the bed pretty much instantly. Woke up about an hour later, got a thumbnail ready, just did it, assuming that Charmaine was doing her live at 2 o'clock or 2:30, something like that. So I have to do mine now because I have things to do later with my husband. And so, yeah, so it is what it is. It is what it is. There's enough of, or else I would have postponed it myself. Because she's done that for me when she sees me going live. But unfortunately, I did not know, and I already have plans for later. So sorry, guys. Anyways, it's my Friday, as you guys know. Thank you guys for being here. Um, Today's live, just so you know, I think is going to be a good one because um, these are most of these messages that I'm going to show you. Uh, most of them you have not seen before. Um, most of them are going to be from um, Taylor, mine and her conversation that we had, and not all of it, but I just happened to said I was gonna kind of look back, but I seen a kind of like this view of uh, screenshots I had, and I was like, it's gonna be, I think, telling to what she was saying about Daniel. Um, Interesting, to say the least. And then there's gonna be a couple of screenshots from Justin Smith about the vehicle, and I think a couple other things mostly. And then there's going to be a few screenshots that you've probably, already seen before. But anyway, so that's what this live is going to be about. I thought, you know what, I'm going to share with you because I think you're going to be very interested in what Taylor had to say. Like I said, it's just a portion of the conversation, but it's very telling. So, anyways, thank you guys for being here. If you haven't hit that like and share, please do. Um, Jack and Lily, of course, we always want to keep their faces out there, their names out there, and I appreciate you guys for being here. Again, sorry, Charmaine. All right. Uh, but anyways, let's see here. We'll start off with, hi, nurse. How are you? May truth come to light for their lost souls. Absolutely. Hi, Sing Birdie. How are you? Yeah, that's what you said. That's when I went and looked. I just assumed that she had already done her live. That's why I made mine for this time, knowing that that was a nice gap until a little bit later, about 8. Me and my husband have to do some things. But anyways, it is what it is. Because I said, well, she's late then. She always does them earlier. But she did change her time apparently, I guess, to later. I just didn't look. I just assumed. Shut up about the assumed. When you assume, blah blah blah. Shar changed, yeah, her timer. And I said, "There's enough room in the town for both of us." Hi, TJZ Mom. I was gonna call you Maud. Hi, Sunny and Maud's chat. Truth and Justice for Jack and Lily. Brenda's in the house. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Sharon Parker. Thank you, Mods, for always you do. Prayers and health for Shannon, Sharon, and anyone else that's struggling with health issues and stuff going on. To me, today, I was struggling with maybe about an hour and a half sleep last night, like because I had slept earlier, but then it's hard for me to sleep. So I didn't go to bed till like 3:30, and I had to get up at 3:40 or 4:40. My bad. And I was like, so hit the pillow when I got home. It was a struggle that last hour. Tick 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 tick. But anyways, let's see here. Hi Art, how are you? Jack and Lily. Bring them home. Absolutely. And Belinda believes. I think you said something about a trip in a second coming back. Every missing person deserves answers, but I have never been so invested and heartbroken about a case as I have for Lily and Jack. Please find these innocent, precious children. Yeah, I mean, there's been a few cases for me, so I don't want to say that one's kind of worse than the other for myself, because Nicola Bully's case, very sad. Sebastian Rogers' case, Suzanne Morphew's case, right? They're just all so heartbreaking. But that's because, like I said, I've been in true crime for like over 6 years now. As I can do things over those years. Colleen, thank you for being here. I can only pop in for a bit. We're driving back to Edmonton from PI. That's a dang ass long trip. Next hotel is a half an hour. It's been a 12-hour day. Well, I got an 11-hour day. Suck it up, Buttercup. Because June 2nd, I head off to Alberta with the husband there. And on the way back, I get to see Charmaine and give her beautiful package that Share Cares sent with the pens and stickers and stuff like that. Peggy Day, thank you for the bucket of KFC yesterday. I seen it after I was done my live. I don't really hear my thing go ding on there, so I just want to get that in there, Peggy, because Peggy always does like usually the KFC buckets, which is the app is buy a coffee, or the PayPal, and so it's like usually after that I see it because I don't really hear notifications going off while I'm here. Old Garden Gal, hi Sunny Mods in chat, and scrolling. Oh, hi Carla, how are you? Thank you for being here. Don't forget about Streamlabs. Doesn't like it when you misuse punctuation. Yeah, losing service way too long. Never again. Hi, Violet. I was going to say, I had to think about it. Hi, Violet Boy Ian. Hi, Tom Lou. How are you? There's Share Cares right there. There you go. The drone grid, thanks for that map. Although, I'm sitting here taking your map and I'm trying to overlay, look at the actual Google map, and I feel like I found a piece, but I was like, which piece of water is this? Is it across the street? Because it has like a distinct thing, right? And I was like, I literally gave up after about 20 minutes of trying to figure out which exactly piece of imagery that was on there. So maybe you could tell me. Hi, Brandy Indy. How are you? All right. Hi, Sarah. Nice for you guys to be here. Make sure you guys hit that like, please, for, of course, for Jack and Lily. And obviously the algorithm. That's what we're talking about. That's what keeps it out there. Monica Fox, nice to see ya. That's what the fox said. But it was Monica. Monica said it. Let's see here. Oh, is that support with Steffa? Hey, beautiful. How you doing? Steffa, forgive me if I forgot about you for a minute there. I haven't seen you in a bit there. Hi, Carrie. How are you? Lily and Jack. Hey, Shanann. Lily and Jack, where are they? What happened to them? Monsters of Chaos. Hello, Monsters of Chaos. Like watching your guys' videos. I didn't really know about your guys. I never really paid attention to your guys' channel. Monsters of Sabotage and Monsters of Chaos. But again, you know what? It's about Jack and Lily. So, whatever makes it out there that's, reasonable and stuff like that, things to listen to, I always appreciate myself. Because it's not like a one man or one woman, bandit type of thing. It takes a bunch of voices for Jack and Lily, regardless of opinions and stuff like that. Okay, I think just sorry guys, just quickly scrolling. I really do hate leaving people out. Absolutely. I never forget that. I never forget that at all. I just wanted to thank you for your dedication to this case. I'm in Florida and have been struck by the intricacies. Big words, a little hard for me, okay? Of their story. I pray for answers. Yeah, absolutely. It does. It does. It's, regardless of, say, who's covering the case, it's the fact that people are covering the case. Even if that's, like the douchebag. Whoops, sorry, Mike Damon. Sorry, did I say that out loud? But anyways, do you know what I mean? So whatever, right? People can do whatever they want on their channels and stuff like that. And, people either, you know, people just simply want to know, right? They want to, it's like Belinda, you know, you're popping around from Facebook to channels because maybe there's something that you might hear that you didn't know and stuff like that. Yeah. I just want to show you guys again, just because of beautiful Share Care's heart. Those are the beautiful pens for Jack and Lily. And let's do it that way. The stickers. Thank you. Thank you. Little button. And for Jack and Lily. And then this one, can my eyes read today? Jeez. I always have to move. What is it? I think I have it upside down. At first, when I opened this, like last week or whatever, I thought that it was because it had a little ribbon on it and it's so small in writing. I thought it was like a Jack and Lily pen, and it says, "Bitch, you doing a good job." Anyways, thank you again. I so much appreciate the kindness and the generosity and using your own money to do this, right? So no one be beefing about someone that has doing beautiful things and using their own money out there. Okay, so do 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 do. That makes it about Jack and Lily, absolutely, right? Sometimes the focus goes off, but I'm just on course with just trying to understand, like, amongst the bullshit of this case, which for me, it doesn't shock me. This is exactly how these high profile cases go. Um, it's when it starts turning into a 3-ring circus, when it gets really amplified. Um, I tend to stay away from that stuff anyway, because I'm just not into drama crap like that. I don't mind bits and pieces of drama a little bit, right? But not to get into what I consider people are supposed to be working together towards one goal, and the goal is Jack and Lily, right? Um, some personalities, Mike, are a little bit hard to absorb. It's because it's like listening to a Daniel 5.0 pretty much, and stuff like that. But again, whatever, right? I don't have to like him and I don't have to watch him, and I certainly don't watch him anymore. Used to be a better person. Used to be a lot better when he first started his channel. When he was a couple hundred subs when I came across his channel, and yeah, he used to be a better person, a lot better. I guess the true colors came out, didn't they? It's funny though you know how a case can enrage people. Bunch of spit wars and different things like that. Um, People get so invested, and there's some people that actually like cross the line of sanity in cases I've seen. It's quite ridiculous. Um, the death threats to people, literally, you know, uh, I just couldn't imagine. In Summer Wells' case, that one got ridiculous fast. But what I remember most is, as all these adults, I would never message anyone on ever Facebook, especially a 15-year-old child, and tell him, you know, that he's a murderer and stuff like that. I just couldn't. Grown ass adults going to a child's Facebook, a teen's Facebook, and threatening him, saying all this ridiculous stuff. And, it's got to be pretty scary, you know, for stuff like when it's, especially like, adults, we can handle it better, but still. But to go to a youth's Facebook and do shit like that. Anyways, that was the Summer Wells case. And so I followed the Summer Wells case at the start. And because it came such a circus right away, I backed off, but just paid attention to it. And then I basically always remember Summer Wells case, but I never kept doing any lives I did like a tribute video for Summer Wells, and then I just watched in the background. But anyways, okay, so we'll start off with this. So again, what I'm going to show you is messages between me and Taylor. And Taylor, if you guys know, was what you would call the ex of Daniel Martell, the one that, I mean, because always when you're in the midst of two children missing, one of the first things you think to do, within a month is what, start up a relationship, type of thing. Now, like I said, me and Taylor had a good talk about things, and I haven't talked to her in a little bit. You typically have checked up on her, but I haven't checked up on her in a few months now, just to see how she's getting along and stuff like that. But anyway, so I thought I'd share those with you. A few of the a bit of the conversation between me and Justin Smith, the neighbor that heard the car at the 1:30 on the tracks. Yeah, from the first yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, so we'll start off with the first one. Okay, you guys ready for this? You guys ready? All right. So, Taylor. So, and you guys, probably a little bit out of order, because I was just kind of just send, and I didn't really have time just to organize because I was just like send. Monsters of Sabotage, 13 months of dis. Just went premiere, is it? Okay, anyways. So she says and this is about Daniel, they were asking about his personality, meaning the RCMP. Okay, they were asking about his personality and where we went and how many times I went up and if I was always in my same car. Huh. I'm just giving you food for thought. Take it as you want. They asked if he ever talked about Jack and Lily and what he said. They asked how I started talking with him and when as well, and if I used my account to talk with him on Facebook. I feel like they have access to our conversations with the way they were asking, but that's just an assumption on my part. I showed them courses he took and some screenshots. They said major crimes and S would be in contact, but they haven't been, which is annoying. Now, this I'll have to say, well, I can't remember how many months it is when this all happened. I'd have to actually look at the dates, but this is definitely like what 6 months ago, at least about 6 months ago, 7 months. They said major. Okay, I already heard that. I told them I could send every screenshot, but they hadn't requested them. Now that was at that particular time. Okay, so who is Taylor? Oh, support with Steffa. You just don't follow this case too well, do you? So Taylor were you not listening actually when I said that? So Taylor is the ex-girlfriend that Daniel had very shortly after the children went missing. I think it was it at the somewhere in June? I believe it was somewhere in June when this relationship started. So the whole, according to Taylor, right? The whole premise of this is that she felt that she had a lot of the same similarities as Daniel's personality, and she felt like she could connect with him through that. And then, so anyways, it did happen. And it connected, sorry, Taylor, but it connected so well that, obviously they had a very sexual relationship to go with that, meaning she got herself in deep into what she started off with was trying to think that she could get close to Daniel, and did, and trying to find answers like some other people have done, with Daniel and whichever, right? And so, but then it turned, how people, when they get too close, and then next thing you know, it just everything you thought you were there for turns into a fuckery type of thing, a relationship in a sense. And so yeah, so I mean, pretty deep into this whole situation for sure. But again, I always ask myself, who in their right mind, a normal right mind, hold on, helicopters flying in whenever he goes out of service. That says it right there, though, right? So anyone with a normal mind, um, would you ever think when two children are missing that you're gonna, go into a relationship? But anyways, let's go on to then we'll add. What did I just remove? Oh no, I'll just remove from studio. Okay, go on to the next one. Image file. She fell victim to. Well, you know, that's the thing, right? I don't know that I'd necessarily want to be involved or even try to be involved in a relationship when two children are missing, suspiciously. But hey, it was what it was. Now, trying to see here if this is um okay, so let me just go to the next one. I'll take it. Okay. So again, no, in no particular order. Okay, guys. So another thing she said was, yes, he made me show him all the contacts in my phone, right? Delete my Instagram and unfriendly any man that wasn't family off Facebook. Where did we hear that before? Didn't Malaya tell us the same thing, right? So obviously, again, I don't know if it's small man syndrome, small dick syndrome, that these insecure people have to try to control us, and again, because they're insecure, right? They're so insecure about themselves that they need to do things like this. So I can relate, maybe not to the delete phone, but just to the controlling abusive relationship that I especially was in when I was 15 to 26. Taught me a lot, but I didn't blame anybody. He told him and his family, he told me him and his family are crazy. And Malaya told her friend Angelina, Daniel shows up to call the cops right away. Let me make sense of that one. Let me make sense of. He told me him and his family are crazy. No, that's a shocker. Janie, Wayne, Alvin. I feel like I'm saying the chipmunks there. Alvin and yeah, no. Anyways, and family are crazy. And Malaya told her friend Angelina, uh, Daniel shows up there to call the cops right away. I feel like I remember this, but not clearly. So take it what you will. People are scared of him. Okay, heard this before by different people that would know. Okay, people are scared of him because he's crazy, and he told me the only person he knows that's crazier than him is Jordan, Darren's son. Darren, any comments? Oh wait, I think you're blocked unless you're underneath a different name. No, because Darren wouldn't be able to keep his mouth shut, if he was underneath a different name here. But anyways, so people are scared of him. So let's see here. Um, Gee, I wonder who said that. Huh? Patty? Patty, you want to step right up? Doesn't that say a lot? Who's trying to call me? I think it's one of those false numbers. Fuck it. It's from Alberta. Let's see here. And then she says that Daniel's a sociopath type 2, she believes. Mhm. It's like my Christmas tunes going off on my iPad, but whenever my iPad rings, I know it's one of those scammers. Most times I try to fuck with them, to be honest with you, but it's like they know. Like, it's like, hello. And then all of a sudden it's like click. Okay, so get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. And anyways, thank you guys all for being here again. Again, if you haven't hit that like and share, please do for Jack and Lily. Okay, next screenshot. Boom, boom. Whoops. Oh, yeah. Next screenshot. Where are we? What's this one? She said, yes, I think he had help disposing of the kids and evidence, and maybe that was a meeting spot, but I really don't know. 100%. I was with him for a couple of months, and he was absolutely, oh, no. Alvin and Wayne, when you said that Daniel is a conniving, basically POS, I don't know how you could have said that about Daniel, to be honest with you, because I always took him for sincere and honest, integrity, just an all around like just great guy. I can't believe Taylor would say the same things that Malaya was saying and other people have said about Daniel. Scared of him, controlling, cray cray. I think the helicopter gives that away, okay? I'm never gonna let that one die. Just like the KFC bucket. Will not. Hi, Angus. How are you? Hey, Shannon. How are you? Prayer Shannon. Love you, girl. Hi, Jesse. Let's see. I just can't imagine what she had to endure, meaning Malaya, and the mind games he played with her, right? That's what they do. Try to control, try to manipulate. Isn't that what Wayne said about you, Daniel? Wayne, I'll talk to you any day. Same with you, Alvin. I'd love to hear what else you had to say about Daniel, the one that thinks he has the greatest uncles that are just, yeah. So whatever typically Daniel says, you always know to either look the other way or think the other way, unless it's like basic info. Hi, Belinda. Love you. Lots of love, Sunny. Coming in late. Put my granddaughter to bed. Oh, you got her this weekend? May I ask why so many women fall for this victimization? When do we take ownership of our choices? Well, that's just it. That 15 to 26 year, right? Like I said, I stayed in it. I don't blame anybody but myself. I learned a lot. And I never, like I said, I never even blamed Dion. I mean, he was who he was, and I'm the one that stayed. You know, Malaya's the one that stayed with Daniel, knowing that he was doing math according to Malaya, and stuff like that. Now, we all make mistakes. I feel like Malaya keeps making mistake after mistake after mistake. Whereas I feel like I've learned from my mistakes because I love myself for who I am, right? It's something you learn in time. You learn to get rid of those pieces of shit that try to bring you down, that surround you with negativity, and you just oust them, right? And so I realized, you know, like after my second, I hate saying it like that because it makes me sound, I was in an 11-year relationship, married for 2 years of that one. I was in a 17-year marriage with the father of my son, our son, the only son, and stuff like that. And it's like I said, so it's not like that relationship started off rocky. In fact, it was wonderful for a long time, until I think he was having a midlife crisis and shit. And I don't know, I knew stuff I was wise enough that when I met him, that I knew that that this anger inside him about his dad being killed by two drunk driving women back in Newfoundland would come back at some point. And it certainly did. It manifested into a lot of anger. And I would just say, well, it's not how he would blame me, say this is like basically your fault. We're getting a divorce. Your fault. No, I'm not the one that asked for it. You did. I don't just throw people away because, you're going through problems and stuff like that. But it started getting abusive towards the end, not like the first one, in the sense of the first one was like black eyes, couldn't walk for a week. Well, no, I limped for a week, getting thrown in a bathtub. My fault. I stayed with it. Right? My fault. But I grew as it went on. Now, like I said, my husband, now third husband, by the way, 11-year anniversary coming up July 11th here. Um, you know, uh, we have our couple, like we have our little arguments here and there. He's very stubborn. He never says sorry, but whatever. But the good in him is so great, you know. It's so minimal. But like I said, I'm not perfect, right? But I think I'm a damn good wife. You know, I might not be the most, I love to clean and cook wife, but pretty good darn wife when it comes to letting him be himself and he lets me be myself. So it took me a while to get there, but you live and learn from these experiences and you try to do better. Hopefully, Malaya's 28 or something like that, 29. What is she now? Um, you know, uh, hopefully she'll decide to make better choices. But bottom line is, again, we're here for Jack and Lily on this part. So any sort of victimization and stuff like that, it has no bearing for me on this case, but I can relate to a situation like that for sure. But for this case, it's about Jack and Lily. They deserved to get answers. They deserve to be, they deserve everything. They deserve to be here. It's that simple, but they're not. And it's almost coming up to 14 months. Okay, so again, so I think it's pretty clear. Yeah, absolutely. But everyone has to learn, right? Again, if you make your choices, then that's your bed to lie in. And so I'm not one of those fans of the poor me syndrome, right? It's, yeah, okay. When the first time I had a poor me syndrome, I went into depression for the first time ever because I thought it was okay to finally feel sorry for myself for all the stuff that I'd been through. Worst mistake of my life. I'll tell you that. Worst mistake of my life, feeling sorry for myself. My mom, she didn't teach us to feel sorry for ourselves. My grandma wasn't that way either. It was like, okay, suck it up and move on type of thing. So that's where I take a lot of strength from, is my grandma and my mom that way, and from the abusive relationships. It teaches you what you are willing to put up with. How much do you love yourself? And do you really want to live your life like this? Because you got one life that you know of, YOLO, right? But it took me a while until I met my, like I said, one of my ex-husband's relationship was really good for a long time, up until that certain point, probably 5 years, 4 years before the marriage dissolved, But then look at that. God gave me a treat, dropped my wonderful husband, Steve Austin, on my lap. He was in the United Kingdom. We met gaming, and I couldn't ask for a better husband. Same initials, same zodiac sign, Cancers. He can literally go in this brain and go down it, and I'm like, get the fuck out of my brain. Only I belong there. If I'm 10 levels deep, how do you know where I am? Like, get the fuck out of that. That's how crazy mine and his relationship always is, for that. But anyways, moving on. Oh, I better not talk too much about myself, because Mike Damon might have something to say about that. Sorry, Mike. Just got to poke the bear sometimes. Guess it's on you today. But, I just, all of a sudden it came to my mind. Sonny, talking about, I feel like I can. I feel like it's my channel. I can talk about whatever I want, and other people stay or they go, It's one of those things. Now, let me get rid of that one. When it comes to the part of the abuse part and the controlling side, anyone, regardless of this case right now, I would never wish for anyone to love themselves less than what they deserve in life. And so when I do talk about my relationships, it's not because I care to air that stuff. It's because I wish that other people would love themselves enough to know that, you're here for a good time, not a long time. So those fuckers can fuck right off, and take a freaking long or short walk off a long pier. No, that's not right. I can't even say that one right. Why do I always forget that one? Take a long walk off a short pier. I had it right the first time. Anyways, do you know what I'm saying? Right? And so that's why, again, you guys see this stronger personality that says, I don't need idiots in here. I don't need trolls in here. I don't need these argumentative, ignorant people in here. Why? Why would I want to allow that if I don't allow that in my regular life? Because those type of people just try to bring you down so they can fuck off. Simple as that. Flock off. Is that a better word? Flock off. Yeah. Okay, so next one. Okay. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, Belinda. Gotta take yours. Okay. Do I need to make myself a little smaller? Okay. I think Malaya was sleeping with Meadow, and Daniel did something and made her go along with it. I think she was suffering from being abused and manipulated for years, and now she's scared to go to jail, too. But she needs to speak up on everything, regardless of the outcome. Her babies need answers, and Meadow needs to be kept safe and cared for. I mean, of course, this scenario, you know, goes through my head. We don't know what could have happened if something happened. Okay, remember, everything is allegedly speculative, theorizing, blah, 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 when it comes to, what we think could have happened. Okay, so does this particular thought go through probably a lot of your heads? Like you're trying to figure out, okay, so how could one know and the other two not know, or how could two people know and Janie not know? How could Daniel do something if something happened to the children on the Thursday into the Friday, right? And it runs through your head, and you're like, in your head, you're kind of like, okay, did they get into drugs? Some people are like, well, did Malaya something about drowning them in a bathtub or something like that? Uh, were they smothered? Right? Those things are running through your head because we all know that the majority of cases are usually to do with family involvement. So that's the first place the police are going to look, and that doesn't mean that they stopped, right? Daniel thinks that that he's trying to always tell us these things about how much that they give him information, and that hey, Daniel, we don't believe you did anything. God, I just want to know, what kind of stupid is that? Okay. That's a level, but that's where I know that Daniel, he's not fully up here like he thinks he is, because his perception of telling us about Luke and Narc, telling us information about the blanket being planted that stuff like that. It's like, dude, this is where you should have zipped your lips, but we didn't actually want you to zip your lips because we like it every time you say something like that. Certain things you're saying that are truthful, but then by the same token, you're trying to prove to us that how vast and much time you've put into looking for Jack and Lily, that you were the only advocate for them. Now he talks about how great Belinda is, right? A new change. It's a Daniel 2.0 that has come out and emerged after his 6 months or 5 months, whatever, 6 months maybe, about September was when he kind of went, quiet. But the thing is that in my head, I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. But thank you. Like, just keep talking. The more you talk, the more you slip up, the more you say things. Now, this is just based on the fact that, again, statistics, perception of what's going on, and the words, right? But their timeline, I just, like I said, so I might have my ideas like you guys do, but I love to use the words of themselves, what they're saying, right? Because once it hits the internet, no take backs, no deleting a post. You might get away with one or two not being seen, but pretty much people are on it like flies to shit. So good on all those people that are. Oh, hi guys. Where did I go? I keep doing that at least once alive. Let's try. Oh, that's because I made myself small. Okay. Did you guys see up my nose? If so, did you pick it? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Grow, Sunny. Grow up. Okay, so that was that one. Now we should move on to, let's see here. I'm going to have to keep myself small. I did tell the RCMP, and I don't think that's where the waterfall is, but I'm not entirely sure. We never ended up meeting there. He wanted to meet there one time, but we didn't go. Malaya, how do you feel now? Right? Daniel. Thought that's where you wanted to drip, 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 meet Malaya to the old Daniel. You guys remember that? The old Daniel. It's almost like an SK, you know? Meet me at the same place that I took my, one love, one of many. Let me just take her to the waterfall as well. Must be a special spot. You guys think that's where Jack and Lily might be? A little special spot over there. He wanted me there one time, but I didn't go. He said it was right off the highway, and there was a path that led down to the Bay of Fundy. If he put them there, they won't be found though. And if he called, she didn't mean to say Jim, she meant to say him. And if they called him in after the DNA came back, I feel he must have been. On it. Well, I mean, we all know that Daniel's DNA would have been on that blanket anyway, right? Rippy, rippy, piece off there. Plus, right? Plus, just being in the home, it's naturally going to have Malaya's DNA, Jack's DNA, Daniel's DNA, and stuff like that. So that's a given. Uh-huh. Anyway, so like I said, sorry guys if I'm not overly paying attention to chat right now. Just trying to kind of do these and then stick up another one here. Remove from studio. Just trying to keep track of where I'm at. So she thinks right. That's correct, Jacqueline. I think, is it this one? Wait, no, okay, sorry. Wrong one. Remove. Get mixed up myself. Boom, 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 boom. Image file. I need to set up my other computer so I can just drag things across. So we did that one. What's this one? Okay. They never searched. They never searched. So what she's talking about here, of course, is like Janie and Daniel and that. They never search. He's a liar. What do you think she meant there? I believe that. I think that was supposed to be. I don't. I don't believe that for a second. And he did mention a place that leads to the Bay of Fundy to me before that he wanted me to meet at. Then it stops. Right. Oh, the same idea. He said there's a path that leads to the water. I wouldn't be surprised if they were in the water. Because a lot of people always think because Daniel makes all these like references and that to water, don't muddy the waters, all these different ones that he has. I think that's like, I can tell you right now that when people kept saying that Daniel referenced water, he played on that. He played so much on that, right? And like I said, it doesn't faze me. Doesn't faze me that crap. Okay, what else we got? Image file. I wonder if that area was. I would hope so. Think. Okay, wait. That's my third one. Is this the same one? Okay. Even if there was very little chance to find them, you would always be looking for clothes. He was just. Oh yeah. He was just paranoid in the woods, thinking people were following him. Daniel? Paranoid in the woods, thinking people were following you? No. Is that the drugs kicking in there? Or is that just natural? Well, I got some guilt. Nah. Anyways, what do you guys make of that one? Don't be mad, Sonny, but from one day, don't get mad, Sonny, but I, from day one that it all started, have been creeped by KC. Who's KC? I don't know who KC is. I hope he looks behind him wherever he goes forever. Huh? You know, again, we obviously have to wait. Like, oh, vedettes. Um, I think at the end of the day, obviously, Daniel, Malaya, nobody's been charged in this case, right? So it's always our opinions of what we feel and think and stuff like that, you know? Am I going to be harder somewhat on Daniel? Yes, if I was being honest, because he's the one that keeps opening up his mouth and saying inconsistencies, you know? So, regardless of the outcome, you know, as long as the people involved get their just desserts, and pay and live in hell for eternity, forever harming children, um, that's what I wish for. So, obviously, we have speculation, but again, when the answers come and say arrests are made or arrest is made, you know, then we can really, say go at it or whatever once it all comes to light, right? Okay, so let's see here. Remove uh, from studio, image file. Oh, I don't do well sometimes with. I would have never thought you meant Kent Corbett when you said that one. Okay, just got to take this down. Yeah. Hmm. And I was in the woods. Oh yeah, I love this one. And I was in the woods with Daniel multiple times, and he never was searching for Jack and Lily. If you really didn't know what happened, that's all you would do is search. Shocker. Shocker, right? This is about the feeling of if you already know what the answer is. So for me, Daniel reminds me of Barry Morphew. You put on the front to make it seem like you're, you know, looking and doing everything you can, like Barry Morphew did. And then after like a month or so, it all starts toning down. You still have your convictions about it all, but then it all starts toning down because the first part, say, is a front, and then the rest of it is, basically when you're just like, whatever. I distinctly late, but I'll watch rewind. Ha. Nice to see you, Pinky. And Jacqueline says, I feel like somebody who's close to Daniel, like Taylor, would have a good feeling about him to what happened. Well, like some others as well, right? Absolutely. But again, if you have two manipulative people, and again, remember that Taylor said that she felt like she was very similar to Daniel's personality, right? Um, Belinda says, I feel 100% the same Shannon feels. Your children should, of course, absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely. It's our job. If we chose to spread our legs, and be impregnated and stuff like that to have children, that's our job. That's our job to make sure that those children are brought up in a loving, warm, safe, nurturing, caring, right? Roof over their head, clothes, all those things. That's our job to make sure. It's our job to take care of our children, protect them. I mean, as best as we can do, and know that, mistakes happen out there in lives and family situation. you know, and sometimes a moment, you know, can be, destroy families and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, as long as that's why myself, like I said, no one can take away my personality or who I am. No one can take away how much I know for my child, how much I did everything for him. He came first, right? I always remember the ex when he said that I gave our son more time than I gave him. I knew that really wasn't true, but it was his own jealousy over our son, who was like, what, 2 at the time, 3 maybe. And I'm just like, you in my head, I'm like, well, I did say, like, really? Like, and I literally said, like, who the fuck says that? You're literally going to say that you're jealous of our son, that I spend give him too much time. I'm the one inside taking care of our son while you're outside drinking with the boys, you know? But I stay inside because, right? I sit there and feel guilty if I literally was just outside hanging about and left my son in there, you know? I wouldn't feel safe. I took my rule very seriously. So, right, those are things that people can't take away from me, no matter how they try, right? I might suck at certain things in life for sure. I'm not good at certain things for sure, right? But when it comes to how important being a mother was to me, it meant everything because I saw them as just children, as gifts, jewels, gems, you know? Who wouldn't want to see a child smiling, you know? Who wouldn't want to know that between you and perhaps your husband that you created this beautiful little miracle together, even if you're divorced and whatever, at some point you loved each other, that's ironclad. Kids first. How did Taylor even get away from him? Well, I mean, it's not like she was in a dungeon, right? It's not like she was in a dungeon with I mean, I'm sure there could have been handcuffs at some point, maybe, perhaps, in a different type of way. But it wasn't one of those things where he wasn't about to let. Are you kidding? Imagine 2 kids are missing, and he's trying to hold her hostage in that trailer there. That would no. So you know, it was what was it actually? What was it? I'm trying to remember now, where this all kind of fell apart. I'm trying to remember. I'm going to have to go back and look at my conversation because I know I asked her. Well, see, she actually messaged me, with a video. Right? And that's when she was. You know what? I'm not going to talk about that because if I can't remember it properly, then forget it. I do have the video still. So that can be another part too, right? I'll go through more things and see. Again, if you guys haven't hit that like and the share for Jack and Lily, please do. We have 171 people watching the stream. So if you guys, like I said, if you haven't, please do. It's as simple as that. The children, the murdered and the missing, they deserve what we can give them. And a simple thing like a like makes a difference. Image file. I think I'm on this one. Oh, she will end up in jail too. And Daniel is such a fucking loser. No. He said he hated going around Durwood because he would always want to talk about the case. Gee, I wonder why, Daniel. Why do you think Durwood would want to talk about the case? Right? You probably, just like you don't want to look in the woods anymore, you don't want to talk about the case either, especially if you have guilty knowledge. And I believe she's talking about Janie there. No, was she talking about Janie there? She will end up, or no, maybe could have, I think it was Malaya then. Yeah, so it must be, yeah, it would make more sense, Malaya. She will end up in jail too, and Daniel is such a fucking loser. Daniel. I don't know how Daniel's reputation could probably be any lower, than it already is, honestly. it's already hit rock bottom pretty much for him, especially like on the internet. But then there's a lot of people that take all those actions that you see and they're Daniel lovers still, you know? Crazy. Hey, you want to be that fucked up in the head and, be around a person with two missing children that clearly we've seen um, his own words and stuff like that. Some people want to be that fucked up and act like he's this good, decent human being and stuff. I guess it's one thing if you believe that he's innocent, right? Separate from, he's a great, awesome person versus, right? Thinking that he's like just a decent, great human being. No, you know why? You know why, of course? Because he's a full blown narcissistic, probably, sociopath, psychopath. More probably sociopath. I don't know, psychopath. Probably bordering psychopath. Uh, uh, uh. I knew which way. Because Daniel puts it out there. Oh, actually, you know what? We'll come. Let me just, I'll come back to those screenshots because I think I was at the end of the row of that one. So let's just, whoops, Sonny. Where are you, Sonny? He went hiding again. Let's watch a couple-minute video here. Of all the channels I follow about this case, I haven't seen one person who is defending Daniel. Oh, there's a many. There are not as many as there was, right? Because this case is, all of a sudden it was like, towards Malaya, but most then back towards Daniel, then Malaya. It's like, flip floppy, But it's just about really Jack and Lily. Like I said, I don't give a shit about Malaya in that way or Daniel in that way. I just care about two children that are missing and wanting answers and calling a spade as I see it. Doesn't mean that I'm right, just meaning that it's my interpretation and speculation about what I'm seeing in front of me. But 1 second. So share screen. This one right here. 1 second. It's only like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, guys. So we'll watch this for a minute. DT can still suck it too. Remember about the fence? Remember about the fence that wasn't built yet, but both of you two morons, Daniel and DT, sorry, are sitting there discussing about, I wonder how they got over. Did they just hoppity hop over? Did they, crawl whatever through the thing to get out? And right? No fence. There was no fucking gate. There was no gate. All the children had to do was go around the swing set and leave. There was no gate, and yet those two are literally talking about it. Daniel saying that the fence was done on May 2nd. Got pictures to prove it otherwise, to go with the no gate. And yet those two are having a conversation about, and then Daniel's like, I'm not really sure, actually. And I'm just like, because at first I was like, what gate are you talking about? Like, their yard at the front doesn't have a gate to like let them drive through. Right. And so I'm just like, because I'm thinking, how is Daniel having a conversation about a gate that's not even there? Anyways. No, DT wasn't playing him, I'll say, I mean, actually, who cares about DT? Actually, he can just manifest in the manure pile for being a backstabbing little bitch is what he can do. Fuck right off. Sonny, watch your language. DT does suck. I mean, honestly, right? Okay, I will say this. That a bird as Lily and Jack were okay, he truly believed that these children just walked and lollygag down that place, right? And that a bird came by and plucked it out of Lily's hand, and that's how it somehow made it to the tree, right? Don't forget about the bears in the area, that the children literally started running freaking as fast as they could, right, Jack and Lily? Because a bear started chasing them. And then they just got lost and never again to be found. End of story. Daniel, DT solved it. Does that not say you know what, though? Let's just get real, okay? Both names are Daniels. I put my hands up, right? Case adjourned right there. One idiot with the other idiot. Just calling a spade a spade. Don't you ever find that, though? People that have certain names usually have kind of very similar personalities, right? Karens of the world. Sorry, Karens. But that I do find that. That if I know one person, say, name Jim, that another Jim, is probably more of the holly jolly type of person, but then you come across, like, say, Daniel. I'll just pick a name out of thin air there. And then you're like, oh, ego. Oh, wait, DT, ego. Full of yourself. You guys get your egos in the way. You can't stand it if you think people think that you guys are stupid or something. I get it. But then DT has to sit there and, hey, Brad Wong, look what Sonny said about you. Here, let me just show a clip of Haley's. Oh, because I got to show my audience. Yeah, you backstabbing freaking jerk off, type of thing, which I trusted him fully. I did, right? For years. There was no reason not to. I didn't share anything of his. We just had private conversations. I respected him very much. Now, where's that respect? RESPCT, fuck off. What you did to me? How about them apples? Yes, honey, when I asked about the chicken wire being pulled back, she said it was how the children would get out. Right? Well, there you go. Unsuperable. Because, again, there's that brown with the little gate on it when you come down the stairs, and that's sitting behind the new gate or that new fence that's being built. But the children didn't have to before then. I mean, they could just get out, but all they had to do was just simply walk around that, swing set, and it was like, woo, yeah, right? But they're always supervised, right, Malaya? Right, Daniel? They never did stuff like this before. Anyways, let me play this really quick. Oh, Daniel. Oh, Daniel. Whoops. There we go. Ready? Just think about that. Hold on. Before I hit play, just think about where he's standing, clueless to wherever the blanket was placed, right? Talking about distancing yourself. No, I never saw. I didn't even know where the blanket place was. I didn't see a picture, even though you read it, hear it in the documents. But I mean, what's Daniel gonna do? Malaya can say otherwise, obviously, because in the documents it said that they were both showing a picture. But Daniel totally distanced himself. Yeah. But anyway, so just think about where he is right now as we're talking about this, okay? Ah, Daniel, that place that you didn't know of up until pretty much, I think, I don't know, what, a week later, months later, But anyways, okay, fine, I'll hit play. Shut up, Sonny.
Has known since the day Jack and Lily disappeared that he was a suspect. He's been their stepfather for more than 2 years, living together in this trailer. Martell says that's why he has fully cooperated with police.
Everything from my phone, doing a polygraph exam, and just ask them to do, here you go, search everything, just do everything you can for the kids, right?
Freshly unsealed court documents detail how RCMP combed through bank records, phone data, and GPS locations. Investigators wanted to know the exact whereabouts of Martell and the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, in the days leading up to the children's disappearance, and cross-reference that information with the statements they gave to police. The documents reveal that as of July 16th, investigators did not believe the case was criminal. By that point, 6 polygraph tests had been done, including on both Brooks Murray and Martell. They were also done on Martell's mother, on Brooks Murray's mother and her partner, and on the children's biological father. Brooks Murray was given a polygraph in what police describe as an effort to eliminate her as a suspect in causing her children's disappearance and possible murder. She passed, and so did Martell.
They've done a full background check as much as they could possibly do. And I mean, I'm pretty thankful for them to spend the time and spend the resources to try to figure out everything.
An extensive search on Martell's property and the surrounding 8.5 square kilometers has turned up only a few clues. One was a boot print matching Lily's size 11 feet. Another was a pink blanket hanging from a tree found by family members of the children's mother. A piece of blanket was also seized from a garbage bin at the end of the family's driveway. Martell says it was the same blanket, but it had been ripped apart.
First of all, one second. Okay, first of all, get your facts straight. You're sitting there reading on those documents. It didn't say that. It said that they were truthful to the questions that were asked. And we don't know what was asked besides what, say, Daniel had told us for his, okay? Said that they were truthful to the questions that were asked. But don't forget, you guys, remember this. I remember putting all that into AI and AI saying that you can pass with 4 questions because of certain questions that maybe might not have been asked in the scope of it and still be, in a sense, truthful within knowing still what happened. Now, got bills to pay. Shit, yeah. Want to thank you. Thank you, Pinky. Told you. Gonna keep going broke. Thank you for the donations, but you don't need to. Thank you there. Thank you for that, Pinky. I like the sign. I purposely that song that goes off. I got bills to pay or something like that, right? I mean, tell you, I don't know what it's like in Nova Scotia where people live and stuff like that, but in Vancouver, you pay for it. BC means bring cash. Bring cash. Yeah. Anyways, so I love how Daniel, hold on, let me go specifically back to the point that I think I like the most out of this video. Right there. His eyes wide closed. Look it. Can you see this, you guys? Somebody, literally, I put 2 and 2 together, and I, with my brother, recorded a video because I put 2 plus 2 together and was like, you mean that pink blanket that they found? The one that I didn't know was in a tree and had suddenly the one Malaya threw a week earlier in the trash, still in that trash, and somebody punched a hole in it. Do you guys believe me? Do you guys believe that I didn't know about where that blanket was and I wasn't shown a picture, knew nothing about it? And mysteriously, Haley, Malaya's stepsister, Haley, I think that you did it. I think that you punched a hole, and in the midst, wait, Brandon, was it maybe some 2 shirts were in the garbage? I don't know, right? Oh, wait, hold on. These S traffickers came along and they got balls, you guys. They got balls. Remember that? They don't got small balls. They got big balls to be able to, during the midst of helicopters in a search, and go, you know what? Because we are S traffickers, we're so smart that we're going to go into Daniel's garbage in Malaya's and we're going to go, oh, here you go. Go this way, you know, because they feel like they really need to do that. Do you honestly think that when S traffickers are going to take 2 children that they're going to go, you know what? Let's just add to the mystery of this case and go in through the garbage and put a piece of blanket out there. Fuck no, right? It's so, yeah, it is interesting. It's a miracle, to be honest. In Daniel's eyes, it's just like 2 plus 2, right? 2 plus 2. For Daniel, it equals 5, but for us, it equals 4. Well, to me, it's just another deflection of don't look here at me. Let's point it over towards Malaya's, not Malaya. Remember how many times he said not towards Malaya, and then he literally has a post saying that Cindy and Malaya know exactly what happened with Jack and Lily, right? I mean, he can't keep a story straight if his life depended on it, but he flip-flops all of a sudden. So it's now, well, you know what? Remember in that interview when he's like, I know that they're 100% that they're still alive, but I keep trying to tell them, you know what, you idiots, RCMP, I keep trying to tell you guys not to look here. Go look over there at Malaya. And no, wait, no, not Malaya, because I know Malaya didn't have anything to do with it. Oh, if only I had that post in front of me right now, I'd put it back up there, Daniel, right? But here, let's come up with some, I don't know, did he put that in AI, you think, and go, yeah, that one works? Well, I can't point at myself, so I might as well point towards S traffickers that somehow knew that Jack and Lily were going to be at a school, that they stalked their place, were all prepared, their hidden vehicle in the bushes somewhere, and then, oh, Jack and Lily, oh, my, did you kids wander to the end of the driveway, on a school day that you guys are sick, type of thing that, of course, right, it's just ridiculous. Suck it. Right. Now, she did kind of retract that a bit. I know that she did. Malaya said that, well, actually, you know what? Let's carry on with we'll finish this, and then we'll carry on back with our Taylor statements. Are you guys finding it interesting? Some of the things that, like, I want you guys to understand from somebody that was in a relationship, and yes, it went south and whatever. But again, her intention was to go in there and, try to get answers for Jack and Lily, and then it just, oops, slid it in. All right, Daniel, and then it goes south. But thing is that when you talk with Taylor, I never wanted, like, meaning I wasn't trying to take advantage of Taylor in a sense as I was asking her questions, even though she had sent me a video first and stuff like that. I don't like to try to take advantage of anyone. Obviously, we want information, and if people have it and they're willing to talk, great, right? Then great. Except for Daniel, he's easy. But anyways, like I said, stroke, right? Stroke an ego. When someone has an ego, you stroke it, and it's like, right? It's like telling a narcissist, like, oh, think shitty of yourself. Not going to happen. They call what is like a mask, right? Some of them actually believe in that mask, I think Daniel is, yeah, he's totally up there with that, to be honest with you. I really believe that a lot of what he is saying, he actually believes in it. And that's where I'm like, too much meth, too much of that going on there, from childhood. Were you like, was he like this a lot, right? You got the Justin child versus the Daniel child. And it's like one seems like they're way more genuine, real, more so. And then there's Daniel, that whatever, say childhood, whatever issues, insecure issues that turned him into a controlling manipulator, in my opinion. Just saying it. All right, 1 second. Go back to it just a little bit more.
but it had been ripped apart and thrown out.
I mean, it's mysterious as it is, because the distance from the garbage bin to where the blanket was found is almost 1 kilometer.
RCMP have previously said Lily's blanket was sent for forensic analysis. To date, police have received 740 tips and more than 9,300 videos, and say a tremendous amount of careful, deliberate, investigative work is ongoing to locate Lily and Jack. Angela McIver, CBC News, Halifax.
Okay. Well. Okay, 1 second. Coming back at ya. There we go. Yeah. The blanket, you know, where Jack and Lily are, the blanket are two of the main things of this case. Sammy from Miami. Mm-mm. Ooh. Yep. Dinosaurs for Jack and unicorns for Lily and a giraffe for Meadow. But thank you, Sammy from Miami. Hey, isn't it like World Cup Day today? 18th here. All I know is I gotta wear my Canadian hoodie. Well, I wore this as well, you know, because it's like red and white, but pretty sure that's today. Thank you, Sammy from Miami. All right, okay, so back to, we'll remove that, Jack and Lily, and then go back to screenshots. Image file. Okay, I think we're on this row here. Oh no, we saw that one. Wait, Janie is crazy, you can tell. Oh, I believe it. Janie is crazy, you can tell by looking at her. Daniel tried to tell me she didn't know he used meth. Like, man, come on. She probably was doing it with you. Janie, do you want to talk about it? Right? Of course you wouldn't know. Of course you wouldn't smell it. Just saying. Alrighty. Could have. I think, though, that there would be a huge stink in the air. Image file. Hi, little black bear. All right. What are we here? All right. What's this one? Okay. This is to me. She says, I appreciate you, and I have never felt like you were trying to do anything other than being helpful and give people real information. Thank you, Taylor. As for Christine Ingrid or something like that, that's what she's talking about here. I think she thinks that she can solve the case or get answers from Daniel, but I don't think she's strong enough to not get pulled into his BS. Her friends list went down significantly, which was probably him making her delete men that aren't family like he did to me. I honestly kind of feel bad for her in a way, even though she put herself in the situation, obviously, like she did herself. I was playing him, and I still got wrapped up in his bullshit, even though I knew he was a liar and a narcissist. Oh, shocker. With her, I think she actually believes him, which is scary for her. That's just what her thoughts were. Okay. Remove. Add. Image file. And so I did that one. Now I'm on this one. He's meaning Daniel. He's gross. Oh, this is it. He's a gross, evil, and a drug addict. I think that alone gave people a lot of insight too. because he was trying to make people believe he wasn't using, but he would brag about it to me. Daniel, I don't know why anyone would ever say that you would do drugs, especially on that May 1st. Actually, let's look at that little poll for a second, shall we? Where's poll? 81% said 100%. Well, the question was who? Oh, I can't even type. Who thinks, Daniel? Huh, can't even type on that one. Who thinks Daniel did drugs the night of May 1st into May 2nd? 81%, shockingly, Daniel said they did. 100%, he sure did. 5% said no. I'll bet my life on it. Well, that, if you want me to dig your graves now, I will. Not sure. I flip-flop on it, 9%. And 5% says, remember how he says he's normal on them? Just LOL. 5%. So 81%, Daniel, out of, hold on, I should be fair and say that's out of 130 votes. Kind of lopsided there. Kind of lopsided. Yes, that's who she's talking. No. Christine Inrig, is that her name? Maybe that's her name, Carla. Maybe she's called Chrissy. This is your brain on drugs. Absolutely, Ariel. Right? So anyways, right. Now, Daniel, remember that interview where Daniel's just like, well, like she asked him in the interview, remember the ones he walks up to that little homey, whatever that place was. And, he's sitting in the chair and he's just like, I didn't do drugs. A lot of people are saying I did drugs on the day Jack and Lily went missing that, so no, I did not do drugs. No, I did not sell drugs. No, I did not. Shut. You lie once, who's going to believe you the rest, to be honest? Ask Wade. Just ask Wade. He was hot. Well, that's why Haley said he was a man running around, and that's why Wade made a comment as well, right? Yes, is that the searcher? Yes, that's the one. Yeah, that one. Christine, thanks, Sing Birdie. That's who she's referring to on this. I mean, I've heard it. Obviously, that. I won't talk about that part too much because I don't know enough about Christine. But to know that, she obviously, whatever game or non-game she's playing with Daniel, that's whatever she's doing, hey, nothing I'd fucking involve myself with, but hey, each to their own, right? Can lead a horse to water, but if they want to drink it, I guess. It's like very unholy water, that would have to be. Image file. Now which one am I at? Okay, which one am I at? Oh, I think I just did that one. Okay, so now what's this one? So this is one where they're talking. It's just the one where he says, I agree. It's where Daniel agrees. I could be a narcissist. And then Taylor says 100%. And then he says, it doesn't mean I didn't care. Of course you did. Of course you cared in a controlling, manipulative manner. Of course you did. No, it just means you'll never keep anyone worthy. I really hope you did care, she says. He says, I did, Taylor. And I'd have to go look at the actual screenshot to see what that bottom one says there. So bear with me as I look at that. It says, let me just grab it. But basically it's like you'll never realize what you lost and when you had it type of idea for that, I guess. And moving along. Daniel's not a narcissist. Absolutely not. The nerve of anyone to ever say that about Daniel. Sonny. Okay. Okay, so this is the one. Maybe I'll put this. Okay, hold on. Let me take this one back down. Remove. And I'll bring it up. 1 second. I'll bring it up the other way. Just so I can zoom it in. Daniel says something doesn't add up. Just want to make sure, Daniel, that you claim your certificate for criminal psychology confession and interrogation. Claim your certificate for criminology and criminal justice fundamentals. Okay, 1 second. What's the other one? Or does it cut off there? There's obviously another one. Claim. I am a certified in criminal interrogation. Do I need to interrogate you, Taylor? You can. Babe. Babe. I'm not joking, babe. Nope. What is it you want to know, babe? I got you, babe. Sonny and Cher. Remember that? I got you. Okay. So I just wanted to remind people of the certification that Daniel, of course, a normal person, of course, goes and does that. You know what? I think I'm just going to go get criminal interrogation. Wonder why. I'll tell you why. Why do you think? Why do you guys think that Daniel got, or what is your thoughts about why you think Daniel got the criminal interrogation? Well, hold on. 1 second here. Go back to it. Make sure we get that right there. Criminal psychology, confession, and interrogation. Huh. Why do you guys think Daniel got that? All right. Okay. While you think about that, I'm going to be right back. Just give me a second. But why do you think? And dumb font. I'll be right back. Brandy, ding, 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 ding. Target. You hit the target right smack in the middle. That's my exact reasoning for him. So basically, because he's wanting to know how they do things, right? So he's always trying to be a step of the game. Anyway, 2 secs. Be right back. I'm back. That to me is exactly it. It's like someone going, you know what? Let me learn what their technique is. So now I know what they're doing, when they bring me in and stuff like that. Always trying to be ahead of the game, right? Why? Let's just ask ourselves, though, what reasonable person does this in the case of 2 missing children? Somebody that has guilt, or the innocent bystander that had nothing to do with anything? That's a hard thinker right there, isn't it? Justice for Jack and Lily. Hopefully after July 7th, the trial won't be, it will be, trust me, gasp, it will be, right? It will. Those things can go on for a year, longer, depends. Also, what, want, why. Mm-hmm. Hey, Daleen. Hi, Just Jeannie. Hi, Let It Be Known. I think you know the answer to your own question. Of course, I know the answer to my own question. It's a matter if you guys know the answer to that question or hypothesize, I suppose, eh? All right, moving along. Stop screen. Image file. Angus says, Belinda, this is so frustrating. This case is so frustrating. How do you not lose your friggin' marbles? I feel so bad for you. Absolutely. Biggest hugs to Belinda. Just an amazing, amazing person, and her dedication, of course, to her grandchildren, like what we would expect to see. Okay. Dealing. Also, what wannabe PI would ever want to date Daniel or would suggest he take these courses? I don't know. I only can imagine why. Yes, Jack and Lily is always the goal. But do you see I'm always target? Oh, okay. This isn't Taylor's. This is a Daniel post. So yes, Jack and Lily is always the goal. Of course they are. But do you see I'm always targeted? Victim mentality. I just don't understand that. Oh, okay, you guys, this is where we fucking get on the floor, roll on our fucking asses, and laugh our freaking asses off, okay? Seriously, this is where your butt cheeks and your normal cheeks hurt when you read this. I just don't understand the drug stuff, considering I had no drugs, no meth labs were found, and I don't sell drugs. I gave police my phone if any of that evidence. What about the burner phones? Did you give them the burner phones that Malaya said you had a couple of? What about those phones? Okay. Of course, I'm sure you didn't hand those over, Daniel. What are you doing? Like, you know what? Here's the phone that I don't use. I just use it for certain things. But here's, here's my two burner phones that, when I'm talking to my, friend that sells me drugs, and what's the other one for? For cheating? I don't know. What's the other one for? Why do you need a couple burner phones and a regular phone? Unless you're shady, typically, right? That's why people buy burner phones typically, because they're trying to do shady shit. Anyways, but I just don't understand the drug stuff, you guys. I don't understand why Malaya said that you've been doing drugs for ever since Meadow was born, just before she was getting induced or whatever. Right? I just don't understand why Malaya would tell Haley that. I don't understand why Malaya would tell Cheryl that. I don't understand why there was a drug kit or a shaving kit, my bad, in the bathroom. Right? Oh yeah. So call Daniel. I'm calling you out. I'm willing to wager a freaking like 3 buckets of KFC. And one of those buckets will be with Janie's chickens. All right. Just to be fair to Janie. Right. Or I'll buy her something from Timo. One of the two. And just, you guys, just like the interview, I just don't know about these drugs that people keep saying that I'm doing. Brian, go sit in the naughty corner. You missed a lot. Anyways, investigators even came out and said to me, my family, yeah, there's no drugs and there's no meth lab, nothing like this, right? And I love it when Daniel says this. If they found drugs, that they would have arrested me. No. They're too busy looking for 2 missing children that you and Malaya left unsupervised. That's what they're doing, Daniel. At that point, they don't give 2 fucks about any of the drugs that are in the house or the ones that you perhaps moved from in the bathroom and hid them. Okay? People aren't stupid. You might be, but right? So I wish, I mean, we know what we know. Okay, we're not simple people here, is what it is. To me, Daniel's just pure ass lying bullshit. And why is he lying? Why is he lying about? You know what, you guys. I'll claim up until April 30th that I was doing drugs type thing. I'll claim up until April 30th. But no one's ever going to accuse me of doing drugs on May 1st into May 2nd. Nope. Right? Because why? Why does he kind of stop? Remember how his timeline grew closer and closer? That's one thing DT did. He kind of boxed him in a corner there, and then Daniel's like, you know, like even in Daniel Martell's sentences now, it's like, yeah, it's been over a year. Yeah, well, duh, right? No, duh. The way he's wording it is that, yeah, it's been over a year. Jack and Lily disappeared over a year too. Do you think that Haley's stupid? Do you think that Wayne is stupid when they say that? Well, Wade said you look like your skin was like freaking yellow as shit, and Haley said you were running around like a chicken with your head off. Malaya said you were up all night doing drugs. Yeah, I think that all of those people must be wrong, and you must be telling the truth, Daniel. I don't know why I didn't see that before. Daniel also said recently that he was sleeping when Malaya excused the kids from school on May 2nd. Oh, yeah, Daniel says a lot of things. Daniel also claims that he didn't know Malaya was going to call them into school that day. Again, distancing himself, right? Well, I wouldn't call him a master manipulator. I definitely wouldn't call him a master. He thinks that he's good at manipulation. Most of us, don't buy the shit that he's trying to sell, right? There's a difference there. There are some people that are really good at manipulating people, that they're so good at it that honestly, even it gets by, the smart ones. But in Daniel's case, me and Charmaine gave him that little bit of credit at the start. And then once you start getting to see the different things, you're like, oh, dude. I always remember Charmaine on that one, at the first one, she was messaging him. She's like, he's fucking lying to me, fucker. type of thing on there. But yeah, and so it was just one of those things, right? Now, again, Charmaine's all about just like we are. Same thing. Yeah, she talks to Daniel. Yeah, she talks to Janie, as you guys well aware, and stuff like that. Bottom line is that when people are talking, and no matter what, you still want to listen, even if you don't believe them, and they're part of the case. You still want to listen, right? Me, I only listen to a certain point, and after that certain point, I just don't give a fuck anymore. I feel like I've gotten enough out of you, and I can't, right? I just can't sit there. Like that 9-hour live was epic, because if he was willing to stay, I was willing to just keep letting him talk, with the intent of that purpose, right? But we still have to always keep in mind that no matter what we think or feel, we don't know the truth, right? We could all be dead ass wrong about everything. We could be. Unlikely, but we could be. So you never want to go full in on something, in a sense, but I'm like, the glass is definitely half full. It's actually more than half full. In fact, it probably is overflowing almost at that point. And that's just because of all these things like this, right? It's not like I'm pulling this out of my ass and just going, let me just talk about all the drugs today, without being shown it by family members or girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. Nope. I just can't. It's like, I don't even care what information you have. At some point, if I'm just sick and tired of your BS, um, I just can't. Right? I mean, I'll agree. Like, I got so tired of Daniel's bullshit after so many months of watching it and all the games he was playing. Right? I saw that for a long time. And I was just like, dude, you like, I'm sick of your little Papa Weasel shit going in and out, saying certain things, not clarifying and stuff like that. He had all the opportunities to clear up information, set things straight if he wanted to, but no, it just continued. So for him actually being on the live and be like, "Saying, come up," with Daniel, it's like I I had an old friend that he made promises he could never keep. He was one of those people that either you hate him a lot, you know, but I accept Daniel for who he is, because who he is a manipulator, con, narcissistic. So I accept that about Daniel, the fact that he to me is all those things, and nothing's going to change my mind about him that way. He's proven to us umptitude of times that he's lying, inconsistent, full of himself, right? Poor me victim syndrome going on. And that everything is always about, was blaming Malaya, of course, blaming Malaya. I'm the greatest. I'm so good. I did all of this, right? You'd have to be blind, deaf, and stupid if you don't see that, right? So I just accepted him. So when he joined up on the live, again, it was just to let him talk, At the end of the day, I'm not going to disrespect a guest. I'll question some things, but I was kind of being more light on that because I just wanted Daniel to talk and you guys to listen, whether you believed it or not. Not that Sunny was falling for any bullshit and stuff like that. It's, I guess you can call it, I don't want to call it so much a game, but kind of, I guess you could use that term a little bit, because you just know that, hey, dude, if you want to come up and sit here and tell us a bunch of stuff and try to convince people, you know what, all the power to you. Because most people, they're going to see right through your shit and they're not going to buy any of it, and they're going to look for slips and they're going to look for things that you said in that 9-hour live, Hi, Gypsy Flo. How are you? Okay. Next one. Geez, I think I'm losing track of which one I'm at. Oh no, I think I know where I am. Kith. That one I feel like is to do with Justin. What's this one? Oh no, I gotta take that one down. That's Justin. Okay. One sec here. Image file. It's just that it's hard for me to see. So is that okay? What's this stuff? Let me just pull up another screenshot. She says, yeah, I think the drugs fucked up what little normalcy Daniel ever did, if any. He's everything bad wrapped it up into one person. Yeah. I just don't understand how some people believe his bullshit. I think he is 100% innocent when it comes to Jack and Lily. Okay? So at this point, she thinks it's kind of crazy, that statement, based on this other stuff that she said about him not looking in the woods. And if, then da-da-da-da-da. But anyway, so that was still her thinking. What it is now, maybe the same. Even if he didn't do anything to them or with their bodies, which I believe he did. Oh, okay. So now she's saying, I believe he did. So I just don't understand how some people believe his bullshit. Oh, okay. My bad. I read that wrong. I don't understand how some people believe his bullshit and think he is 100% innocent when it comes to Jack and Lily. Oh, what's Streamlabs doing, Chicken Whisperer? Oh, please refrain from you not using proper punctuation. And Streamlabs is getting a little mad at you. Hmm. Ah, look at that. A troll. Ah, thank you for coming. Thank you for subscribing. Obviously, you wanted to have no life today to come visit us and join us and come into a fake sock account. Thank you so much. It's probably a man behind this account or some stupid bitch that freaking thinks that they're smart and, that they're going to actually impact my life. Well, I gave you your 10 seconds. And let's see here. What do you think? Block? Keep or block? You guys, it's game. Keep or block? All right, fine. Block. Isn't it so funny that actually somebody subscribed so that they could actually participate in doing that? That always gives me shits and giggles. Okay, so even if he didn't do anything to them or with their bodies, which I believe he did, he still neglected and abused them and their mother while they were in his care. Okay. Do, 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 do. My Chicken Whispers, are you done? You done getting mad at Streamlabs, even though it's your fault for the punctuation? So exactly, because if you go back to those two initial statements made by the parents, yes, you can pick out the lies, absolutely, and then consistencies. You know what really bugs me is when people say that Daniel and Malaya are saying the same shit. Okay, they tried to say the same shit, right? Little bit, but they did go and fuck that up too, right? Well, Malaya I should say this. I mean, in certain points, Daniel's the one saying, that Malaya woke up and said this. But anyways, they tried to. But when you read the documents, there's no trying to. It stands out like a sore thumb what's going on here in that sense of, that what she's saying about, say, I can't remember exactly how she worded in the documents, right? But then yet she's saying that Daniel would hold her down and or that Daniel was basically amazing to the kids. I think not in those words, but then when she messaged me, she said he mostly picked on Lily and sometimes Jack. Was it that way or the other way? Mostly picked on Lily and sometimes Jack, or picked on Jack. I think it was picked on Jack and sometimes Lily, right? Okay. On a Sunday from Miami. We might email you other week, maybe with info. Expose them all. Yes, expose them all. See some freaking arrests. Let's see some answers for Jack and Lily. Okay, where am I at? So we'll take that one down. I think there's only a couple more that I have trust me, there's a lot more, but of the ones that I already kind of had from before. Wait, is that the same one? I think that's different, isn't it? I gotta take this down. Oh no, I seen this one. We already seen this one. Okay, that's a repeat. Repeat. I'll just read it again. Oh, Daniel. Yes, he made me show him all the contacts in my phone, delete my Instagram, and unfriendly any man that wasn't family on Facebook. That's a secure person right there. He told me him and his family are crazy. And Malaya told her friend Angeline, okay, Daniel shows up there to call the cops right away. Oh, that if Daniel shows up there to call the cops right away. People are scared of him because he's crazy. And the only person he knows that's crazier than him is Jordan, Darren's son. We listen to him on Mike Demand show. Pretty freaking loses his shit very easy, just like his father. again, when you say that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? You're a product of your environment. Sometimes, the good kid comes out of it, and then the little fucking shit disturber comes out the other end. Let me just see here. We move from studio. Image file. Let me just see this one here. What's this one? Oh, this is Daniel and Martell. Okay, so I guess we're done right now with Taylor's messages. So we'll move on to this one here. Daniel Martell, it's not a winter jacket. That's wrong. First of all, it's a dark navy jacket. You know the jacket that somebody came in, took it off the hook inside the trailer, and as they took Jack and Lily away? You know that jacket? Okay. And second of all, I don't know where it is. It left with him on Friday. Someone put it on him. No chairs were moved, so he never put the jacket on himself. Fuck me when I read this, to be honest. I don't know who put it on him, though. You sure? Cheryl, Malaya, Cindy. Who else? Maybe it got burnt in the fire or hidden in the woods. Maybe that's why they were asking you about your little fire thing that you had. Making it seem like things just disappeared. Time will tell. The coat rack is too high for him to reach on his own. Of course not, right? Absolutely. This was not supposed to be made public, but here it is. There's Daniel. There's the famous Daniel. I shouldn't tell you guys this, but fuck it, I will. I shouldn't tell you that Malaya took a polygraph test, but fuck it, I will. Malaya's trying to blame everything on me so she doesn't get in trouble. I know all about the cadaver dogs, but I can't say anything about it. Remember that in that big long spiel? We'll go through that one again soon, right? So again, Malaya, someone from Malaya's family obviously put in. Jack couldn't have done it himself, so he obviously didn't get up on a chair, right? Just like nothing was moved in the kitchen when the children, were making that noise that you heard. To me, this is a narrative, again. A narrative. Hey, Hustler. A narrative to me, this is a concocted, of course, timeline. It's like, look, we saw Lily, Jack, we just heard in the kitchen. We kind of fell asleep, woke up, and they just vanished. And we didn't go bother my mother and ask her if the children were in there because she was inside. Wait, no, Daniel, you said she was outside and that your dog would bark or would bite Lily or whatever like that. And say what? Wait, Janie, you heard Malaya hush the kids? No, wait, Janie, now you believe it was somebody else that came? Or was that Darren? That's Darren's story now, right? That Janie, she's not sure now. It could have been Malaya. But now, you see this person here that came in and put a jacket on Jack, a navy blue one, during that small time frame of a window that the RCMP are basically giving a big FU to. You know that one? Right? Just like the Thursday night, same thing, big FU. Again, it to me, it's so just ridiculous when somebody literally sits there and says, is he an idiot? Does he not know? Does the RCMP guy, sergeant guy, not know what a fireplace is? Like, duh. It's like, you put wood in it, type of thing. He didn't believe me. He didn't believe me either. Really? He only watched me one time and he knows nothing about this case. So who are you? Remember when Daniel's doing this in the thing? So if he doesn't know anything about me and type of thing, then how can he sit there and say that stuff when he doesn't even know the case and doesn't even know about me? Remember that? And you're just like, holy shit, really? And you're just like, did you just fall off of the turnip truck, Daniel, on that one? Land on your head in the KFC bucket or something, right? Because obviously we all know what time it is, right? We exactly know what time it is. Daniel doesn't, because he's too busy thinking that the helicopters are for him and for him only. So precious. So precious. But anyways. What if their room divided by a huge hunk of plywood? Why the fuck was their room? Well, one person said it was, and one person said it wasn't. Was that in the chat? Or I am. Who was it? Was it Cindy? Said that they were in bunk beds. Somebody, and they said that it was divided by a wall. So who knows the truth? All there. Too many lies. Too many. I do have a. I remember when somebody did. I do have it. When somebody did like a screenshot, or not a screenshot, but like a mock-up of the trailer where everything was, type of thing. But they kind of left out. There was something I remember they left out, and I'm like, how did you miss that one? But anyways, oh Daniel, Daniel. Tell you, Daniel, if I'm right, I'm coming to the fucking prison and grabbing that bucket money for the bucket of KFC. Telling you right now, okay? You don't need to go visit Malaya. Malaya will be just fine, right? It's you who probably needs to worry the most if that's what happens. Just so you know. I wonder how many people, if hypothetically, if Daniel ends up in prison, didn't he say he'd go see Malaya? Didn't he say, like, you know what? When she ends up in prison, I'm just, I'll go visit her. Type of thing. Wasn't that so sweet of him? But my thing to you is, I wonder how many idiots, if Daniel ends up in prison, jail, whatever, I wonder how many idiots are going to send him commissary money. These people do it. I'm telling you right now, these people will do it. Yeah, Daniel's going to have a good life with commissary. Just telling you, because we all know that mama, she ain't going to be able to afford that. Okay, what else we got? What else do we have? Some more interesting things, I think. Wrong button. Well, he said that. He said that. I literally pictured a big piece of plywood smack in the middle. Well, I agree on that one. Let it be known. Okay, what do we got? Not sure what order this is in. So let me just see. Geez. Now I gotta remember. You know what? I should probably do this. Wait, hold on. What's this one? Did I show that one already? It's that one. What's this one? Oh, Daniel Martell. Well, everything is not the best. This is, the famous one a little bit. Well, everything is not the best. Meadow is going to CPS custody. Malaya is losing her. CPS also turned Arlo and Reina on me. RCMP did that, eh? They interrogated an 8 and a 6-year-old, and I guess they said I abused Jack and Lily. One fucked up day. I'm sure there's a lot of days that are fucked up days, Daniel, and you just keep sinking your own freaking battleship, dude. Yeah, when you put things out, like, again, is this somebody that's wise and brilliant, that's literally saying this stuff, right? Are you? Yeah, y'all know when you send a text message and all that stuff that people will screenshot it and stuff like that. That's why there's certain things that I will not say. because of that exact reason, because you know you're either being recorded or a screenshot's being taken. So there's not much that I will sit there and that's why it's like, okay, go ahead, try to blackmail me. Go ahead, it's not going to work. You know, if I put it out there, it's because I put it out there. If I said it, it's because I said it. Daniel, will some have some do it? No, yeah, absolutely. Okay, remove. Okay, 1 second. We're gonna put Jack and Lily up for a second. I'll be right back, okay, guys? Because you know the next few ones are from Justin Smith, okay, about the vehicle, and the camera. Okay, so give me a second because I just want to put his ones. I want to take the other ones and put them in the file so I don't, because there's some where I can't remember if like that was his or not. So I just got to go through that for a moment. Sorry. Didn't have enough time to prep before the live on that one. My bad. Not really. I'm not an organized person naturally. Doesn't suit me. Just doesn't suit me to be like that. All right. I try. No, I don't even try. Not even going to lie. Actually, I just lied because I said I try and I don't. I'm organized with certain shit, you know, but I'm very disorganized because I just don't care. I'd rather not do up a big Excel sheet and shit like that. That's what Melissa's for. Okay, be right back though. I'll leave you with some music or something.
Flashing lights dance with fire in the night. I'm wired. Watch the time pass us by. Is this feeling lying? Could you pass the lighter? Yeah, I'm trying to keep my cool. Nicotine in my veins, flaming up desires. What am I supposed to do? Cause it feels so good. Feeling wild like a zoo. Put me in a mood. Put me in a mood. solution. Hopeless solution. You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Yeah. Moving through all my fears, you're blurring out my vision. Watching your every smile like your television. In your eyes I see myself, I'm falling. Make it make sense, it must be the temptation speaking. What am I supposed to do, cause it feels so good. Feeling wild like a zoo, put me in a mood. Put me in a mood. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Flashing lights dance with fire in the night, I'm wired. Watch the time pass us by, is this feeling lying? Could you pass the lighter? Yeah, I'm trying to keep my cool. Nicotine in my veins, flaming up desires. What am I supposed to do, cause it feels so good. Feeling wild like a zoo, put me in a mood. Put me in a mood. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Yeah. Moving through all my fears, you're blurring out my vision. Watching your every smile like your television. In your eyes I see myself, I'm falling. Make it make sense, it must be the temptation speaking. What am I supposed to do, cause it feels so good. Feeling wild like a zoo, put me in a mood. Put me in a mood. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless solution. Hopeless solution. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real.
Okay, you guys. Thank you guys for waiting for that on there. I just wanted to how to get all the other ones out of the way. So there's only, I think, like 4 screenshots that could have taken more, but these are more of the ones that you guys would probably deem more important for them. So anyways, if you guys, again, haven't hit that like and share for Jack and Lily, please do. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Appreciate that. And let's see here. Okay. Wonder if I probably should have brought them all in here, had them in the right order. Well, before actually I show 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, yeah. I'm just going to share this one that I had as well. This is when, Durwood is in a chat and he's saying, do you know who owns the church and who lives in the basement? Okay, did you know that Daniel confessed to Brad? This is Durwood saying that. Yeah, of course, Daniel's going to go confess to Brad that he was driving around all night and who he was with. Okay, whatever to that one. I think I know Brad a lot better than you do, Sonny. You can still suck it, Darren. Let's see here. That's comical. I don't know and have never met V. Mallory, but you will probably say I do. People insert themselves because they care, maybe. What else? Okay, get off YouTube and maybe we will talk to somebody. I never heard Janie had keys. Not even sure what that one was. Different church girls. Okay, so I'll just say like this. Obviously, there's been talk of, I'm not even going to say the person's name, to be honest. Well, I think, we'll just say it, whatever. Eli or whatever it is, Ellie or Eli, or however you say it. And something about a church and, trafficking and all that shit. So obviously this person is known to be a trafficker and stuff like that. Anyways, personally, it's not my line of thinking at all. But some people do think that. I don't. I've thought about it, but again, I try to think about the trail that would have had to, that everyone just would have had to gotten away with everything and stuff like that. Usually when this case, the RCMP, obviously they're very interested in a lot of stuff that, whenever someone has something about Daniel, I can't get pay for membership. It says not available in my area. I don't know. Can't answer that one for you, Brian. Where's your area? Because I can't answer that because people from all over the world and stuff like that. So I think that's more of a your issue versus the actual say stream yard. No, it would be YouTube, wouldn't it? It would be YouTube. Dr. Teal's. Hey, I share cares. I got some of that shit. Dr. Teal's Epsom salt. Not with the cannabis though. Not mine's just got like the regular shit. I guess I'm boring. But anyways, so I just wanted to show that. We'll remove that now. Again, I do feel like that. I don't feel like Truro. Well, other people from Truro are from Nova Scotia. Yeah. I don't know. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. It sucks because I know if, people want to become members and then there's issues. I don't know. But I will drop the link like myself and just, you can try to click on that. See if it makes a difference. Oh, wants to come up 3 times, it looks like. Darren is always pointing his fingers around. Oh, I know. He's a hypocrite. He's a huge hypocrite. Especially when he's, again, he can dish it, but when it comes back on him, he's another deflector of the situation. When Shanann played that clipping of conversation with Darren, he's just like, like that, as if me and Charmaine started it all and stuff like that. And, blah, blah. His memory obviously seems foggy when it comes to himself about the shit that he did, what he said, and he's the one that got all fucking pissy. Yeah, send it to Sunny. Sunny, did you paint that heart on the wall? No. Janie, if you happen to be watching us tonight, that's from Timu. It says Sunny and Steve on there. I obviously wonder if I do it like this. Will you see it normally? It says it's metal. I gotta put it back. I'm not sure how I had it. I think I had it like, whoop. Sorry. I think I had it like this. Something like that. Maybe it's a little bit more. So, and then, anyway, we'll leave it like that for now. But anyways, yeah, so no. Metal. Okay. And I'm not sure said what to Sunny. Daniels. Do. Okay, share screen. Nope, not share screen. Image file. All right. Just trying to remember what the first one I wanted to show was. Well, let's show this one first of all. Okay. So you won't see this on Google now, I believe, because I remember like looking down it, and I don't think Anita had anything to do with it at all. No, absolutely. Come on now, that's just crazy. So if you guys can see in this picture, here, let me make it like this. So when I was using viewpoint, you could see that there was a camera there, right? And that was facing 289, right, towards Daniel's house, that way. So I wanted to show you guys that yes, there was a camera there. And then when I remember looking, it wasn't there anymore. But anyways, so let's see here, image file. Is it this one that I want to do next? Okay. So there's the picture, obviously. So Justin, this is Justin Smith, right? The one that had called in that morning, and you guys heard it on the scanner audio, the one that said that the vehicle about 1:30. Anyways, he says, I'm not aware of any cameras from Florida Park that were facing the 289. Oh, this one was. The lease family that owns it, I'm not close, or it owns it, and I'm close with, would have shared the content. Are you aware of any visual content? Sure would be nice if there was, so it could validate my statement. Aw, we believe you, Justin. Even if there's like, the RCMP don't seem to have shit, or at least from what we're being told. Are there any new leads? Have the trolls dropped me from discussions? And I don't follow online, but I hope the continued efforts, for some answers. And what did he say? Which is the one? 1 second. So this is the one that I just shared. Okay, this is the one I want to share here. I said, thank you, Justin. Were you outside? Is that why? When you heard the car by chance? He said, no. I recall it was a still and calm night. Always kept ears alert for unusual vehicles in our neighborhood. Camp windows. The vehicle I mentioned was familiar sounding at my farm where I previously resided. On the highway, I monitored and took note of night traffic. So, you guys know up near Laird where, he has that allotment up there. So that's kind of what he's saying, that that the car that he heard the night that Jack and Lily went missing was a familiar sounding vehicle, because like he was saying that he kind of was alert to unusual vehicles in the neighborhood. And at my farm where I previously resided on the highway, I monitored and took note of night traffic. Okay. As well, I can't recall exactly, but it wouldn't surprise me if I was more aware of the activity that night and at that time due to some earlier road traffic. Okay. So that was that. I think there was another one. I feel like I'm missing one. I feel like I'm missing one. That's that one. That's that one. That's that one. Cancel. Give me a sec here. Just give me 1 second. Oh, maybe I'll show a few more. Justice for Jack and Lily. Just trying to find something. I know that there was another piece, I feel like, with the cameras. So I just want to make sure. Oh, I think this is the one I wanted to share. Right here. Okay. Take down. Remove. Oh, did it again. Love you, Sonny. Remove. Move. This is the part towards the cameras here. He says he can't verify the camera, but I know I would be aware if there were conclusive photos. So meaning that if that camera actually was working, the family that he knows well that owns that campground would have shown him the photos. Is basically that conversation. So, but I know I would be aware if there was conclusive photos. So DT tried to say, well, again, that Brad couldn't see, or that if a vehicle, basically calling Brad a liar, saying that the camera would have picked it up again. But if the camera, so basically with Justin, he didn't know that there was the camera, say, I guess on that tree perhaps. But if that camera was working and it had photos of a vehicle, that they would have showed him those photos for sure, basically. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Why does Kent say that Brad is lying? Because he's on a different path. He's on a different path. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Me and Kent are friends. But he has a different path. And I mean, honestly, actually, it's a good thing that people are on some different, like normal, decent paths, because everyone's still trying to find the answers. So if we were all stuck on one theory, right? What if we were wrong? What if there is something else? So yeah, so it's whatever path he's on. Again, as long as it's for Jack and Lily. Yeah, I heard that. So I have personally not seen or watched Hidden in the Fog um, with Kent on Alive. I just heard that he was always on Hidden in the Fog. Um, I guess he found himself, another home because he was at, here. Then he kind of think went to someone like Voices, went to somebody else's channel. And then I guess he found his way over to Hidden in the Fog. So, you know, um, he does a lot of work for Jack and Lily and stuff like that. So, but I just personally haven't watched anything. Like I haven't watched a video. The videos that I've usually watched of Hidden in the Fog is, well, I mean, if she had things, have Daniel saying stuff, like screenshots or, Cheryl's interview, Haley's, on TikTok and stuff like that. But okay, so that was one image file. I'll I'll share this one, I guess, probably first. So this is when I had reached out to him, Justin, and he said, "Hi, Sunny. I'm avoiding online conversations and engaging this shit show. I have complete peace of mind as I spoke honestly and truthfully. I will note that I did not and cannot confirm who was driving the vehicle that I heard that night, just that it was suspicious activity with a vehicle in our neighborhood on the night prior to the incident. I may have included this information, suspicious driving activity, on the morning of the 911 call I made, so maybe it started a little sooner, like 11 o'clock at night. On the morning, I made the call. Okay, the morning of the 911 call I made, which there should be a recording of somewhere, which we all know that on the scanner audio. This would eliminate the majority of the window from the time of the incident to the time of the statement, over 2 weeks. The RCMP should not have waited. See, again, this is why Brad was upset. The RCMP should have not have waited 2+ weeks to take my statement. So remember, he calls in. Obviously, you guys hear him on the scanner radio on May 2nd. Or not him, but, when they're talking about him. And it took them over 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks. And basically, he's saying to them, if you want some, what did he say? If you want to know something about vehicles driving or whatever, like he said, he takes notes or whatever. Not that he had pictures, but if you wanted some information, took 2 weeks. You know why? I'll tell you why, in my opinion, is because they were too focused on the woods. They were so focused about the woods that they lapsed in getting camera and, getting these statements. I had to pursue the RCMP to give a statement. It was not for an extended period of time until the community was engaged with for their details and accounts of that night. Okay, remove. Whoop, I did it again. Take away. Remove from studio. Get into the car. We're almost there. Should be one more here. Brad and I are not buddies. We are neighbors. I believe he is trying to right his life for his family and the kids, which he values above anything. You can use my comments in a manner that should not create negative feedback or if any of my comments seem counterproductive, please refrain. I always remembered him saying that. And so I think now was a good time when things are a lot calmer than what they were, because I think it would have been more of a shit show if I really like showed them. But anyways, I believe Justin. I believe Brad. Okay, so now the last one, which is about the vehicle. I believe it's the last one. Let me just make sure. Did I already show this one? Right. Okay, I showed that. So it is the last one. Okay. Has anyone ever asked where the car of interest went immediately after the incidents? I have, but no answer. It disappeared one day after the incident, Justin is saying. Daniel's vehicle, you mean? Now he's not answering to no, answer is questionable. He's answering yes to Daniel's vehicle, you mean? He said, did you know it went missing? I had no clue, to be honest. Let me end my live, then I can answer properly. Please, any info you know more, I'd love to hear. And then that's when he said the police should have that info. I don't have any information besides the fact that Daniel's vehicle was not seen for quite some time after the incident. I don't think Justin's lying whatsoever at all. So who's lying? The people on the property? What vehicle? What? And that's when I kind of went to Brad and I was like, hey, Brad, did that vehicle kind of go missing or whatever? Right? And the gist of it was, yeah. So I thought that was always interesting. It disappeared one day. And this is coming from Justin. You know, like I said, he doesn't want to be part of the shit show. He was only trying to give the information, and he didn't want to speculate on who did something to the children. You know, the thing is that if you're going to do a balancing act of two people that live in the area that, of course, are coming forward, and like Brad, right, doesn't like the RCMP. Sure, Justin didn't want to involve himself in this either. But obviously he did. It could be Kelly. It could be. Right? Or are we going to believe? Like, who would you more? My question is, who would you more believe? Two people who have no stake in the game, or people that are on the property that are trying to possibly hide lies? Right? We already know that Daniel's tried to do this multiple times to us. So if we have Brad saying that he knows that Daniel had this loud car, listened to it, you know, every morning that he was going to work in the vehicle, but that particular night that it took off faster. He said normally it just, you know, he lets it idle for a bit. But that particular night, it was just like get in and go, right? He showed us in video that he could see the lights from there. Again, he stayed up, he said, because he was working on a vehicle and it was just unusual activity. Well, same thing where Justin. So like he said, like we're neighbors, but we're not buddies. And that's the same thing Brad said to me as well, right? It's not like Justin and Brad are like, you know what, let's just fuck this Daniel dude over so bad, you know, and create a 3-ring circus around us, right? Doesn't make sense. When he said that to me, did you know it went missing? I had no fucking clue. I didn't know it went missing, you know? So I'm done with showing any screenshots for today. So I'm going to put up Jack and Lily, and you guys can, if you want, say a few things in chat. Actually, I want water so bad. 2 secs. But anyways, if there's anything that you just guys want to say or talk about for a sec, feel free. And then we'll come back to that, okay? 2 secs. Well, maybe 3, maybe 10, maybe 60 secs. All right. Yeah, we'll leave that up there too. So did you guys enjoy that information as well? Did some of it feel like it was, interesting what Taylor had to say, and these few things that Justin had to say? I do, right? Because it just all compiles in the brain. I'll do the live for like till 3-hour mark. It's 2 hours and 38 minutes. So I'll go then. One thing at a time only. It's kind of like my mindset for cases and that stuff like that. But anyways, I just thought I'd share that stuff with you because I thought it was, stuff that Taylor had said about Daniel, and Daniel, of course, saying, what about the drugs? About the vehicle. It's probably probably the other stuff just coincides with what we know. But the vehicle, did you know it went missing? Right? It's good to see you back, Crazy Buck. I'm not sure who Crazy Buck is. Crazy Buck. Crazy Buck. I don't recall that name. It always seems good to see different perspectives. I believe so. I mean, like I said, my brain's always thinking, but it always just takes me back to the property each and every time. And then it's a matter of, okay, Brad said that the vehicle didn't go out of earshot. And Justin said that the vehicle went over the tracks, stopped for a few minutes, and then went up towards Laird. Brad gave more like it went kind of this way the first time, second, third, and fourth time type of thing. And he said that the car that came back was different. The car that came back was different sounding on the last trip. Right? It was nice, of course, of Chance and Adam to come help Daniel search. I can understand why people are sus of Chance. I can understand it. Maybe he had help if this is, speculatively. It was good information to see how narcissist he is. Taylor agrees. It's because she said she was the same, right? Agree. A D he is, but could be a psychopath as well, in my opinion. And how long before the kids vanished did he take the course? I'm not really sure. He took it after the court. He took it after the fact. That course. It was taken after Jack and Lily went missing. probably, I don't know if it was 3, 4, 5 months down the road. Yeah, the tracks, the the tracks where that white house is on the corner, that doesn't have the cameras working. So the tracks, camera's not working. I personally always feel that Jack and Lily aren't that far. I don't think they're out that far. But the thing is that we don't know what the RCMP knows. Now, they gathered, 8,100 video captures and stuff like that through Melissa Scott's and stuff like that. If the camera wasn't working right at the POA there, and the cameras weren't working here, that sucks. That sucks. Now, the thing is, how did I just do that to myself? Just made myself really big on screen. Meant to go here. So this home, I believe, has a camera that works. So I don't think, well, what I'll say is, I guess this. We don't know what they know. They could have pieces of the puzzle and some footage of the vehicle. They're not going to tell us that, right? Now, do they have, say, footage off of what Justin said or Brad said? Right? But could they have something already? But it will all become that they got one kick at the bucket and they better get it right. So there's certain things that we're not going to know, that we might speculate upon, be right upon, right? What information that they do have. This doesn't mean that they don't have a vehicle leaving that property, right? That doesn't mean that they don't have it further down on another camera, right? But again, that's not stuff that they're going to release to us. Hey, Belinda, you still here? The woods was all empty all last summer. Many things could have taken place. Yep. So in my head, the thing is that we don't know what footage that they actually do have, right? Um, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Usually, when people go missing, they show you the last known spot. That way, you can see what they were wearing. So, I don't know the answer to that because it doesn't make sense. Usually when you're like, look at that case right there with Elena Moore, right? They show picture of her at the Planet Fitness, right? Same idea. Sebastian Rogers. They show Sebastian Rogers. Last sighting was at what's that? What's that dinner? The Roadhouse or something like that, right? So that part doesn't make sense to me. So what? Why are they doing that? Um, like meaning we're talking USA versus Canada on this one. So USA, absolutely. The Texas Roadhouse. Thank you, Astra Train. Right. So Canada, maybe I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense because that's a typical thing that you would do is, the spotting of the two children last known. If anyone has information, da 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 da. It doesn't make sense. Let me, you know what? Give me a second. I'm gonna put that into AI. 1 second. Okay, let's see what it says. I gotta put my glasses on. My eyes are too tired. Oh, it's spotty. Okay, let's see. I said, why in the case of Jack and Lily Sullivan case has not shown the last sighting? Well, I was supposed to say RCMP sighting of Jack and Lily at the Dollarama. Wouldn't you think that they would want to show us the last place that they were seen? Let's see. The decision regarding whether or not publicly to release the surveillance footage of Jack and Lily at the Dollarama point is of significant discussion and frustration among the public and the children's family. While court documents and police statements have confirmed that the video exists showing the children with their mother and stepfather in New Glasgow, May 1st, 2025, the RCMP have not released the actual footage to the general public. From an investigative standpoint, law enforcement agencies often withhold specific video footage or evidence for several reasons. Protecting the investigative integrity, holding back certain details allow police to verify the validity of tips. If a witness comes forward with specific details about what the children were wearing, doing, or who they were with, matches the unreleased video, investigators can be more confident that the tip is authentic and not just a repetition of what was seen on news, makes sense, or social media. Evidentiary value. Because the Dollarama sighting is not technically where the children disappeared from, they were reported missing the following morning from their home on Lansdowne Station. Police may view the footage as internal evidence to confirm a timeline rather than a tool to generate new sightings, especially since the descriptions of what they were wearing when they went missing have already been released. Wow. Evading public confusion. The RCMP have publicly emphasized that the public speculation and social media theories have heavily hindered the investigation. They may believe that releasing the video would further fuel unauthorized internet sleuthing or rumors rather than generating fact-based tips that they are seeking. However, your point aligns closely with the perspective of the children's family and community members. During rallies and vigils, family members and supporters have expressed their deep anger over the lack of openness, demanding that the RCMP be more forthcoming to eliminate details that they have already cleared up to help guide awareness more effectively. Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes we don't think about those things. Who's going? Who said goodnight? Black Bear. Yeah. You want to all say, did they take a still shot from the footage and then created a task action and passed it around to 3 different? Okay, but even looking at the timing of when they got the footage, it was huge. It was that huge yet online. Wouldn't they still have shared it if they thought that the children were actually missing? Why do you say Chicken Whispers and passed it around to 3 different RCMP members? You're saying, and then they create, because that would make it come across like you're telling it that this is what the RCMP did versus asking it. But I get the fact about that if they want to generate, good tips, right? And people do have information that, I can see them not wanting to put out all that information. If they feel like if somebody's being more specific, then that would kind of give them more the knowledge that they are being truthful. And it's not just some freaking, chasing a freaking dog's tail. Well, I think that just goes in line, Chicken Whisperer, with the fact that the RCMP is not like buying the story, right? Or they're telling us that they're looking at all avenues when really, to me, they have a very clear picture of, I think that they have enough that they know the gist, but they don't have the evidence to back that up and to bring it to court. Footage. And they said they didn't change them. I know, right? Remember? They brought the laundry home and it's like they didn't change them for a couple of days. And it's because so many lies. And that's what we have to keep dealing with, is we don't know what is true, what's not true. No problem, Chicken Whisperer. Is the Dollarama the only public footage? Well, it's the last known. They were obviously seen in a Dragon Blaze Walmart where Malaya goes in. I can't remember what time it was, like 8-something p.m. And Daniel goes, I think Malaya goes in at 7:56 or something like that. Daniel goes in like 5 minutes later with Jack and Lily. So on the Walmart day, which would have been the Thursday. No, not the Thursday. Would have been the Wednesday. That would have been the Wednesday when they took Grandma Patty's card. Yeah. Yeah. Again, they do. But the only thing that they need us to know is the fact that that was the last known sighting. That's it. That's all they're trying to give us the information about, is that on a camera at the Dollarama is the last time that they can physically say that Jack and Lily were alive. Yeah, Wednesday night. Yeah. Yeah, I was the footnotes, 30 page 38. They took a still shot from the video at Dollarama. They labeled it. Okay, let me 1 second here. Um, uh, 'Almost there. Footnote. One second. Is there a zoom button on this? This is Melissa's documents. Is there no zoom button? Oh, hold on. There we go. Hi, Ellen Violet. Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, uh, Again, I mean, it's because of the media, um, right? Fighting for transparency in this case. That's why we have these documents, and it's very costly. And they've already had done a couple of batches, so if there's more stuff that will come out, they might request those too. But as for now, it's what we got. Okay, my brain's starting to get really tired here. I think the RCMP didn't want to release what the children were seeing wearing on CTV footage because they wanted to see what D&M would say. They probably didn't know they were on camera. Prop wasn't even thinking about it, to be honest, were they? Not the brightest bulbs in that freaking Christmas tree. Okay, so let me just take down this comment. Give me a sec. So let's see. Just trying to look for the footnote. Usually the footnotes. What page did you say the footnote was? Because you said 38, right? This is 38. Oh yeah. That's only because I saw my name on this sheet of papers. Keep forgetting that it was myself that got these documents for you guys, all of them. Belinda had them. Sunny had them. Another person had them. Thanks to, actually, no, hold on. Belinda got the first ones. She got the first ones. I got them after, but I got the second batch on there. It's only when I seen that crumbing shame, I'm like, why is my name splattered across that? And I was like, oh yeah, right. So thanks to Belinda, thanks to a certain person that gave me them. How many batches were there? 2 or 3? Okay, the hustler. Yeah, because just like Belinda, I just felt, and same with Belinda, that we wanted, everyone to see it. We weren't going to hoard them. It was for everyone to see, for everyone to read. Sorry, but I just kind of actually forgot that it was because of us that these documents made it out to you guys. Because, well, sometimes it's who you know. Hi, old garden gal. Great live tonight, Sunny. Such good information. Happy that at least 2 people in Lansdowne speak the truth. Thank you very much for being here, you guys. Wait, so what page you say this footnote was on? Here, let me just make this bigger. I'll read this part anyway. Just trying to look up here. Sure would love to see this full document in its entirety, eh? See, there are still investigated avenues remaining within this investigation, and the investigation may progress to a criminal investigation, right? No shit, Sherlock, right? Should the elements of a criminal offense be identified due to, now these don't, you have to remember that these documents were, back in the earlier days. Wonder what it's sitting like now. Just trying to see. Because it says on May 1st, they were last seen outside the home. Police investigation has confirmed that the children were last seen outside the home on May 1st. Yeah, outside the home, right? On May 1st at 2:25 at the Dollarama, which was confirmed by video surveillance. Not sure where you're. I'm at a loss. I don't know where you're seeing that on the documents. Like you said, page 38. Good night, Belinda. Yeah, absolutely. Don't know that will happen. Footnotes on 38, but not every page 38. Maybe just send them to my email. Not send it to my email, but I am going to end the live because I'm just getting super tired. I only had slept for an hour when I got back home, and now I'm feeling it, and I'm feeling groggy and stuff, and it's been 3 hours and 7 minutes. But if you can send it to @crimingshame@gmail.com, just take a screenshot and send that portion over, right? And then I know I have stuff to do tomorrow and tonight. Oh shit, 7:50. Freaking, I forgot about what time it was. Hey, husband. He hasn't come and bugged me, though. Shit. Why did DM want to see the Dollarama tape? Again, he wants to know everything. That's why he's everywhere. When Daniel Martell says that he doesn't watch YouTube or the channels, we know that the Pinocchio nose is growing strong. Anyways, I'm going to call it a night. Pinky, thank you for the $13.99 super sticker. And same with Sammy from Miami A on there. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Totally appreciate that. Again, I hope it gave you some more insight again. Seeing some pages, all right. I don't have the full explanation of what I'm. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at it again. But anyways, if you can just send me the screenshot of the portion you're talking about at crimingshame@gmail.com, that would be great. And then we can discuss that next time as well. Okay, you guys have I'm going to go tackle the vanilla ice cream before I do anything, husband. Just saying. Just feel. Actually, I want to say this. So what strangely went through my head tonight or this morning before going to work was I feel like I want to take my ice cream with me to work, stick it in the freaking freezer till I, and have some. So it just so happened that towards the end of the day, probably within the last hour before I was off, all of a sudden, one of the other agents walk over and say, Sonny, do you want a treat? I do. Okay, you want me to do the poll again? Okay, yeah, no problem. And I'm just like, treat? Yeah. She's like, well, come here, right? And so I go look. She literally, her name is Kim, by the way. So Kim bought a bunch of sundaes, chocolate sundaes and caramel, whatever. And I'm just like, Kim, seriously. I literally thought to bring my ice cream in today. And once I brought an ice cream in, but that was when I was buying it and then went back off my lunch. And, it was like Haagen-Dazs cheesecake one. But anyways, so I was like, when I seen that, I was like, I'm in heaven right now. Anyways, I know. So let's do that poll one more time. So it dropped a little bit. It went to 79 instead of 81%. Yeah, the other ones are 7, 9, and 5. There's not even mentionable really. Because obviously most people believe that Daniel is lying about, say, doing drugs. I think that's a pretty good conclusion on there. She when was that? When did Charmaine bring you a ice cap? Good night, Monsters of Chaos. Good night, you guys. When did she bring you an ice cap? Oh, key lime is amazing. So is mango, by the way. Mango is really good too. I do like the key lime yogurt when I buy it, the Oikos one. I was going to say, was that this morning? Did you guys have a nice chit chat? Oh, when you were at work. Have to run Thank you, Monsters of Chaos. You have a good night. Thank you for being here. Anyways, justice for Jack and Lily, you guys. Again, if you haven't hit that like and the share, please do. Oops, let me put Jack and Lily's pictures up there. Oops, I gotta take this one down. Jack and Lily. There we go. On there. So my kids, and I like that. Oh yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. But what am I gonna have now? Husband had Nando's. I'm just gonna have some of that though. But I gotta go assist with husband. Gotta go out for a bit tomorrow as well. Yeah, that's correct. There was multiple sets. I do have all the sets, but you're right. Those were the Belinda's ones when she had sent them out, when she had sent them over. There was some that had this many pages, then this many pages, then this many pages. And there was a bunch of them. So I get what you're talking about that. And I just was like, what the fuck? Because you know how they add little bits, on each one, whether it's another couple pages or this or that and stuff like that. But anyways, if you have that screenshot, just send it. Just because I don't feel like going through those, all those documents and shit and stuff like that later. I feel like chilling like a villain. Okay, we're going to end the live, you guys. Justice and prayers for Jack and Lily. Thank you guys for being here. Might see you tomorrow. Not sure. Just depends what me and husband are all doing. I might be too tired. But anyways, I'll see you when I see you next time. I'm thinking one day during the weekend for sure. But anyways, good night, guys. Have a great rest of your night, or go to sleep, some of you.